Here we go again. The boys are back, here to talk about a children's video game. Now featuring 100% more Hisui guys. Welcome back to the
absolutely.
PR podcast. Today we're going to talk about how the Backstreet Boys threw away the week because Matt had a Hacks Fest at...
Hey, that's for the end of the video.
At the
Hold on,
regional.
we gotta keep their interest. We gotta have them go through the whole thing.
Of course. So as usual, we're going to start with Black and White. This set was a lot of fun to watch, you know. I think both these teams are pretty cool on paper. You know, we got Seismitoad, he's there. You know, we love Don Franco, he's a great guy.
Seismitoad being the absolute champion of non-Swamperts.
I mean,
One of
Quagsire
us.
is still the king of... He's the OG, the progenitor, you know, he is him.
And Jordan running a really, really interesting pick in Yanmega for Black and White. For her first ever Black and White UU team to pick Yanmega is absolutely insane in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
But-
I definitely agree, because Yanmega is one of those mons that's not the easiest to use because that quad weakness to rocks is huge.
Yeah. But otherwise, a lot of standard stuff. You've got your Flagons, you got your Darms, you got your Bronzogs and Victinis. So
You got your walls, you got your Scarfers.
and you've got the one and only Big Scrafty.
Yes, Scrafty is here, you know, and hopefully he gets to work some magic. So we'll get into it. So I guess we'll kind of talk about Tim's team real quick, as this one just kind of goes for a little bit. So Tim came to me and said, I want to use Seismitoad. And I was like, all right, I'm about it. That sounds good. And so we kind of constructed this team. You know, we got the Firewater Grass Core, we got the walls, just like a nice, like bulky offense team, which is kind of my bread and butter building
Yeah,
style.
it's a very nice balanced team.
Yeah. So the whole thing was like, you know, to kind of scout around and basically put as much pressure with Darmanitan as possible and everything like that. But due to some unfortunate luck, as we're going to see throughout this game, it didn't quite go that way.
45%.
Yeah, Beta Victini is strong.
Very strong. And that was honestly, it was a good team. Although I do think Jordan's team gets away with, at least in this matchup, gets away with some nice stuff because one, there is no spinner to get rid of those rocks. So Darmanitan, even though he goes crazy, that was a speed tie, by the way. Very funny. 50-50. Even though he does, you know, get in and kill pretty much anything on Jordan's team, the rocks being up does mean that he gets only like 2 flare blitzes a game.
Yeah.
Then he's dead. So
Yeah. Plus on these kinds of like Firewater Grass teams, it's kind of hard to fit a spinner unless you want to throw on Blastoise. But
Right, and then you
again, didn't
don't
want to
get
use
to run
Seismitoad, so you know we kind of cut off that corner. But Blastoise would have been a really solid addition to this team.
yes, Blastoise.
Also, shout out Jordan. She's now clicking U-turn on the obvious switches.
Did you know that Jordan
Scenes of development.
brought Explosion and U-turn and said, I'm going to learn how to do it live, and here we are.
Nice. We love live learning reactions.
Live learning reactions. I do want to say Tim did a pretty cool Toxic on this Victini, and then the Toxic Protect,
Yeah.
I guess we could also talk about the trifecta of Trick as well, the first time using a Trick Mon, too. Just like getting all your learning in one game.
Yeah.
And I'm
So,
not
I think-
sure what this was here from,
Yeah.
from
So
Tim.
this was probably the one moment in the game where I think Tim lost it, because up until then he was really in control. Like the big threats are kind of neutralized. Like Victini's dead to rocks.
Yep.
You know, Yamega's gone.
Yamega's gone.
So, like looking at what's left, like you know, you see Flygon. You know, it's choice locked, right? Bronzong just eats Flygon for breakfast, 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you know,
Bronzong
Miss
uses
Magus is
all
here.
alive.
You know, you want to kind of, you can't really do much to it, especially if it's a sub call mindset, like sub nasty plot or something like that. And you know,
The bread and butter.
yeah. So
I mean,
this
you
thing is
could,
super
in theory-
important. At
I
this
guess you
point,
could in theory Gyro Ball it though, right, Matt?
I don't think this one had Gyro Ball.
Ah, okay.
It's the same one that I ran
guess you could
my
installed.
my last team. But like at that point, like you look and go, okay, you know, Roserade, not doing a lot. He could kind of come in. You know that it's Trick. You know, you see Trick with the Scarf guy or Banded guy. Just bring Rose in. You know, if you got it's got the sludge and all that. It gives it the sludge, and the Victini's gone.
I guess you could also pick Darm, because I would assume you just trade the Scarf for the Band at that point.
Yeah.
Or the other Scarf, and then nothing happens, but then you do chip your Darm a lot, so...
Yeah.
I think those are the two plays. You don't keep your Bronzong in here on a 50, 50, or 33%, or whatever double protect is.
Yeah, for sure.
But he did get the band now on the Bronzong, and that really hampers his ability to do anything.
And
so
then
I
that
can
crit,
understand why he stayed in.
exactly. Especially it's like you just threw away Bronzong, which is like
Right.
the most important guy at this point. And like Victini can now use another move. Why are you gonna let him go down? Even if he's banded, a banded Earthquake will kind of do some chunk damage to him on top if need be.
As much as I hate the sacking the Bronzong, I just don't think there was anything else to bring in that turn. Because if Bronzong gets sacked there, like if you already made the mistake of getting it tricked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have Gyro Ball, then you kind of just got to let it die because it's just dead weight once it comes in. But like defensively, if it did have Gyro Ball, get him out of there.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge poison here.
Yeah, that was really nice.
It would have been very relevant.
Oh yeah.
But
and there's the
setting up
spin.
the rock there, late game spin.
I mean, did it?
Like
How
never
much
done
did it
anything
matter?
to
Not much, but it's still
Not much.
nice now. Mismake can kind of come in and
I get to do
it.
exactly what it gets to do on the remaining 3 here,
Mhm.
which is whoop, sub up.
Put the sub up, press the
And now-
button, and then just kind of let things kind of play out. Because at this point, Zap kind of has to deal with this thing immediately.
Yeah, as soon as Zap goes down, Flagon wins. So
Yeah.
you do have to
Which we
save it,
also
so-
see that this didn't do a lot of damage.
No.
It's like this is probably a switch they need to happen earlier.
What, in the Rose?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I
can't
mean,
break-
I don't
If
know.
it was more offensive Rose, I think I would agree.
Yeah.
I think Tim was stuck in a weird situation where he needed to get Darm in, but couldn't get him in safely.
Yeah.
And that's just like the unfortunate part of playing Darm with no U-turn.
I mean,
Like
he had
access
U-turn.
into it. No, I mean like other Mons U-turning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
We do
then-
get a flag on sweep, so I hope JT was happy with this.
Yeah. Yeah, you even brought it out, clicking not clicking EQ turn 23.
Will and I were sweating on turn 23 thinking, oh my god, I hope she doesn't forget she's choice locked and go, ooh, it's Charmanitan, I'm gonna hit Earthquake, and then forget that there's a Zapdos in the back, because it
would've
can
been
happen
great.
to anybody.
But yeah, I think this game was fine. I think the
Mhm.
really only misplay Tim had was letting Bronzong get tricked.
Yeah. And
That's
also for
it.
Jordan, I think on the Yen Mega turn, that you got your speed boost, I think it had Protect. You could just Protect for free and get that extra speed boost
And then
guaranteed.
you definitely... Yeah,
Yeah,
I
then
think
you
we
have
see that
to-
in game 2.
We do, but unfortunately, it was not before the speed boost. So it ended up being a speed tie loss again.
Mhm.
But this time, I do like Tim leading Scrafty, but against Azelf, knowing that Azelf's the lead.
Mhm.
But when Azelf's the lead, it does one thing. Taunt rocks die.
Thorog's dive,
Like,
boom.
as a set.
Yep. So
And,
I
this
liked
is
this
exactly
play
the
going
play.
into Zong, eat the boom.
Yeah.
That was good. I like that.
That was lovely. Lovely boom. Lovely boom eat. For sure.
And then, so right here, this is the same team. We know we have Protect, scout out what the choice locked Mon wants to go for.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because,
there's no
what if
reason
you went
not
for
to.
U-turn, then you're fine to stay in. And then
Or
that
if you go
V-Crate
for
does way
trick
too much
or
damage,
press
man.
on it. Yeah, I love V-Crate, Victini. What a good mon.
It's so good.
And I think that-
It's a full effect of why when we played this format, we banned Victini. And this was a huge crate.
That was the big hacks of this game, was that crit right there, because there was no way, and there was just no way that thing kills.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
It might do 30 something, like it's definitely does at least 33, but it's not killing.
Yeah.
Then I think this was really smart of Jordan here. This pause right here. This is the best switch into Darm after CC with your Hitmontop, because you
Yes.
want to keep the Hitmontop alive to get rid of the rocks again,
Mhm.
or just in general to intimidate things. And there is no other Mon that can take a Flare Blitz. So
Yes.
if
Even
he
then,
Flare
Flygon
Blitzes
does
here-
not take Flare Blitz.
because he's scarfed, he can take a Flare Blitz.
He can
And
take it,
like-
but he doesn't want to. It kind of limits Flygon's opportunity to kind of switch in, which is
Or-
for
you
a
don't need
Scarfer, it's pretty
Flygon to
good at
be-
it.
You don't need Flygon to ever be alive in this game. Like, it's always faster than everything on the field.
Yeah, but
And it resists the Flare Blitz and eats 30 from the U-turn. So, like, as much as it still takes 70 from the Flare Blitz, like, nothing on Tim's team has priority. So it is, like, you don't want to sack anything else. You don't want to sack your own Victini or your own Hitmontop at this point. So Flygon is in my opinion, Flygon's the right play here.
Yeah, I think it was a good play too.
It is.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then you also are getting chip damage if he U-turns out, because everything that wants to come in on Flygon, takes rocks damage, massive rocks damage. So I did like that play, as odd as it may seem, and that's an unfortunate miss of Heat Wave.
Yeah.
From
again, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously, it's a ground type. It's gonna don't click Thunderbolt, but I still think it's a free turn to click T-Bolt.
Yeah.
Or I'm pretty sure, I think it's HP Grass.
Oh wow.
On the Zapdos, so not even HP Ice. Which, I mean, it's it's fine. Swampert is a more annoyance to this team than anything. But yeah, I still think clicking T-Bolt there is fine, because if Flygon is locking into Outrage this early, like, it's really not a big deal. Zapdos can kind of take that pretty well.
Yeah, I can see that, especially the physically defensive Roost set he's running.
Plus, to say, I don't know. It's just like, I get roosting in front there, but, can always, like, kind of get more initiative. Get Darmin, get Rose in there, get more hazards, I guess. But, overall, I think it's fine.
And this was actually an insane trick here.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Jordan tricked there. And it ended up being huge later on.
Yeah.
The unfortunate para there, but now gets a free Flygon switch because of it, so it works out nicely. And then watches Don Froggo explodes. Boom, 1.
Yeah. And then at that point, you gotta let him go down.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then, look, you just threw away your Zap.
Oh my gosh, up to 68?
Like, banded Zapdos or not, like, you still
also,
put out so
mad
much pressure.
And kept outraging here. I just want to point out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's what it needs to do.
Yeah. And I totally get it. I think I would have played it safe, but getting the extra kill and the chip on Darm here. Yeah, not protecting here was weird.
Not protecting there was dumb.
Yeah, definitely get that protected. No need to.
And
sack.
not go like, why go into Yamega when you have like this really good check? You have Sucker,
Yep. But we're getting near a weird end game where Scrafty needs to try and sweep, right? And he can actually, if he lives this close combat, which
but
he
she
normally
got crate. Oh my god, this is oof.
I don't know if Scrafty one shots, DD Scrafty one shots with high jump kick after
at
the,
-1 defense. I think it does.
Right, but then you still have the mag switch in the back, so it's a complete 50-50, right? So I wouldn't say the game was completely lost on that crit, because, oh man, there was a lot of counterplay to beating DD Scrafty right there. But it did really suck, because it went from being like, a decent, like, a small chance for Tim to win to a non-existent chance for Tim to win, and that's the unfortunate part of crits before the nerf.
Even then, that's just crits in general. They always come at the worst time.
Yeah. And that's just something you got to deal with when you play older gens. They will come at the worst time. For sure.
Right, JT?
Yeah. Shoutouts.
Yes.
We got a nice little Miss Magius double sweep.
Miss Mag, she cleans up nicely.
Good
yeah.
Too. I like watching Miss Magius. I want to see more Miss Magius in Gen 5. I think it can do a lot more than just calm mindsets, in my opinion. Like, it's got the tools to do a lot of things that other ghost types in the tier don't have.
It's good that that high special defense, so it can kind of do that. But if you want a bulky ghost, like use Cofagrigus.
Yeah, I know.
Or even Spiritomb. I think Spiritomb is really good.
Yeah, Spiritomb completely. Oh my god, what a beast!
Yeah, it's a beast.
Moment.
Yeah.
No fairies.
Right. Moving on, we got some Nat decks.
Yeah, this was a fun
set.
So
I do want to say, just as we kind of get into it, I love the team that Aaron brought. He built it on his own. He didn't. Just kind of throw it together last minute. He's like, I'm going to put in the time. I'm going to make a good team.
Love that.
So that we can win. And I was like, let's go. I love that.
And this is a good team. This is a bunch of heaters.
Yeah.
And if I remember Adam's team correctly, he wanted to make a rain team. Not really so much as like with rain sweepers, but just to like kind of have a defensive core around. So he brought King Gambit and Ferrothorn, along with a ghost type and Claude to resist the only real weakness of the team, which is fighting. But then we get a weird situation with Sub Dragapult. And Matt, I feel like you know a lot about Sub Dragapult.
Yeah. So Sub DD Pult gets a Z Ghost, which is why we see the trick fail. But like
Uh-huh.
this crazy ass Iron Hands with the defense boost, when when Aaron showed it, I was like, holy crap, what the fuck is this? And then I think all you had to do was not click SD and click Ice Punch, and obviously
Yeah,
Dragon Pult would be.
when your opponent's at +2/+2 is a really, really odd move.
And then saving the sack, I don't know, because then you're just letting Dragon Pult at +2/+2.
Yeah.
Just kind of,
It's really not. This was definitely a, oh man, like I gotta understand how Dragon Pult works real fast moment. But yeah, no, sacking 2 mons before
sacking
getting
2 mons, Also, why is Pelipper here?
Just to set up the rain for Ferrothorn. Simply put, he wants to take out that fire weakness, and I don't blame it. Like Ferrothorn's so annoying.
I guess, but at least build a rain team around it.
No. I liked Adam's thought process. I really enjoyed this team that he made. Like, yeah, it's not a rain team, but it doesn't need to be a rain team. Just because Pelipper's there doesn't mean he's a bad mon on his own, right? He still resists the weaknesses. He has defog. He has U-turn. Like, he helps the team. And then here comes the moment of truth. Hey, Natdex.
Yeah.
My name's King Gambit.
My name's Gambit. I'm broken.
Yeah, this whole game here. Look at this Terra Dark hit. Boom, 75. And lives the Earthquake.
Yeah. Because, Clodsire, he's just fat and stupid.
Yeah, he's not going to do a lot.
Sucker Punch,
and boom,
dead.
Sucker, 100, dead. Now the game is all the way back in Aaron's favor. Dead.
But then...
Oh, hey, it's other King Gambit.
he wins the Sucker Speed tie.
The Sucker Speed tie, that totally mattered. And then here comes Aaron with a really cool trick play to try and win last second. But
yeah, because if, for some reason Adam had clicked
if any
SD.
reason Adam hit SD or Sucker there, he loses. But he hits Iron Head. Like,
Yeah, because then you could just kind of stall it out until the last turn, and then you could hope that Moonblast create, when you live a struggle, which would be funny.
Yeah, but that was a good showcase of King Gambit, and also I think both players had a pretty decent team. But Adam definitely wanted to switch it up this game too, so he brought his Fuckle team, and you know what this is.
It's funny.
It's funny, and it actually could have won the whole game if Aaron did not accidentally bring in the perfect counter to it last minute. So we're going to watch Garchomp get up a lot of spikes and hit Toxic on this Shuckle for the first few turns.
Yeah.
And Shuckle's going to do much exactly what it does best, which is juice up. But here comes the cool moment here that everyone forgets. You cannot rest in Misty Terrain.
Correct.
So it's dead.
There he goes. Yeah.
So
as a Feeny enthusiast, that was of course, obviously, got to know all these things after spamming Feeny for 3 months.
I gotta say, absolute insane play by Adam to keep his Ferrothorn in on Magma Storm Heatran.
Yeah, that was crazy. I would not have done that.
I'm not that bold.
No.
But it worked out. And then we're gonna watch Toxapex be a little bit of an Omega cringe mon here.
Well, what he does. So, gotta dodge burn.
Hey, second try.
If there was another round of terrain, then I think Iron Hands was probably gonna just,
sweep the whole thing.
Go crazy at this point.
Yeah. Cool Terra Fairy here, and Garchomp dies.
That crit matter? Who's to say?
Not even close. There's no way.
He's burned.
Yeah, I guess so.
And with the Court Drive defense, it actually shows that Hands is bulky.
True.
So,
and now we got Mega Swampert for, I'm not sure why.
Why is he here?
I think this is simply Adam saying I wanted to use a Mega, but I didn't have one, and I want to use Swampert, so he's better than regular Swampert.
I know a team where he would fit perfectly. This one.
No, we've never won a match with Mega Swampert on a rain team. He must
Stop
be
bringing
bad.
rain teams. I don't know what to tell you.
You keep losing to Rotom Wash. But here's Mega Swampert. It made me laugh just as much as it made you wonder what the heck's going on.
He's certainly here.
Yeah. I like him.
I like him on rain. And on a rain, I don't think he's good, period. That's just my opinion. I think you could use literally any other Mega and be fine.
Yeah, a really unfortunate choice here by Adam to hit Power Whip when he has Gyro Ball on that Finny. He already knows. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Like, just hit the kill button. Power up's not going to hit anything that switches in for even remotely good damage. So, and then I thought it was interesting that he went into Toxapex here and not the Swampert to sack, because Swampert's dead on entry.
Yeah, like, I would have definitely sacked Swampert there too.
Yeah, don't sack your Toxapex. You can two-shot it if you get a free switch and not, you know, this 2 die to 2 Earth powers because he has to come in.
Because like the part of the allure of Magma Terrain is to trap Toxapex and beat it 1v1.
Exactly. Just because you have a water type or, you know, a really good special defender, like Heatran, trapping Heatran is designed to beat those things. And now with the Bleakwood Storm being faster, we have 3 really weak Mons versus a +5 King Gambit with Sucker Punch. And yeah, this Sea Fly is going to do absolutely nothing.
Yep. And
so here we go. The game is over.
The game has ended, yeah.
I don't think Adam Zappington's had Roost, but...
I feel like...
Also, I really don't understand why Aaron hit Sucker there. If he had knockoff, because if that Ferrothorn hit Leech Seed, then there was a pretty good chance that he also might have just lost that game. But
that's true. Thinking about
Adam
that, yeah.
did go for an attacking move, so it did not matter. Now we have game 3.
Game 3. So this is a very Adam-looking team, and then Glamora's here.
Glamora's here. Spoiler alert, Adam does not lead with Glamora. This is a mistake.
Yeah. I don't. It's interesting we got the 2 leads here. You know, you think like, you know, Glamora hyper offense. You think get up hazards, spam Mortal Spin so they don't get them up, and then you die.
Yep.
And then Grimmsnarl is the, all right, this is the screens hyper offense. This is the, I'm going to get up my things. I'm going to go into big hitter 1, big hitter 2, big hitter 3 kind of thing.
Unfortunately, he goes into Grim first and does not even get his hazards up. And then gets trapped by Magma Storm and now cannot leave.
Yeah.
It only has Spirit Break. So the whole...
Does it not have a parting shot?
No.
I feel like not having parting shot is a big deal. But then Aaron switches out. So now he's free.
Right. So that's interesting. Like, I would say Aaron's in a pretty good spot, even with the switch, because half of the screen's turns are over. You got your hazards up. And now Glamora's going to die, too. Before he even gets
I don't know if I would have Terra Watered Feeny.
No, I don't think I would have either.
I think, you know, regardless, you just get out of there. And also, this thing not having boots, Dragonite without boots, I think is just not worth running.
No, not. I mean, if you're expected to not get hazards up in the first place, it's fine, because, you know, you're going to Terra Normal Choice Band or whatever. Or I'm not sure what his set was. But no, the boots are... if you're going to run a more, like, defensive DD set behind screens, boots make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Also, Aaron's just, you know, stay in and spam Hydro Pump all 8 times, mind you.
He's out of Hydro Pumps.
At -1 special attack was a poor choice.
A choice.
And then Heat Wave Miss sucked a lot.
You would think this Heat Wave Miss sucked a lot, but...
Yeah. No, it did.
Oh,
yeah, no, it did.
It did. This is a bulky Goldango for sure, only taking 33, but then Aaron does have a pretty cool switch in still with a high HP Heatran.
You know, good old Heatran, you know, all reliable.
All reliable. Aaron does not miss a Magma Storm, I believe, this game. It's really cool.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah.
But Adam misses Focus Blast.
Yep. I asked later on why he didn't have close combat. I believe this thing...
this is booster speed, right? I feel like you just run... It gets Aura Sphere, too. Like...
That's what I said. Like, why not Aura Sphere CC? And I don't know what he told me the reasoning for, but I was okay with the reasoning post-game. I said, that's fine.
Yeah. Also, getting up the late-game spike doesn't do you any good, because Grimmsnarl is useless. That's Dragonite, that's Rotom.
Yeah, it's a real... That was an odd spike.
Yeah.
Like, this game 3 is full of actually odd decisions. Both players making, like, weird moves, but I don't think it was particularly, like, always the wrong play. Like, sometimes it's just a matter of knowing what's to prioritize. Like, getting spikes up usually is a good thing. Or, you know, getting your Dragonite behind screens is a good thing. But you just get them in at the wrong times. Like, you gotta know when's right and when's wrong. And that just comes with experience.
Yeah. And plus, like, you know, you think about this, bringing in hands here, right? It's at 1%, it's got Fairy Move.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, first of all, they had Fake Out. I thought it was going to hit Fake Out. I really did. But if it doesn't have Fake Out, like, you're not living
I don't think
that.
It did.
Oh, yeah. Even if it didn't.
And then going for the knock there, get the kill. Well, I mean, it did. Never mind.
You got the kill.
Never mind. It's fine.
I'm like, he's poison. It's fine.
And then
Funny, Dragonite does
Dragonite does his thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, it does like 70. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Thorn's
in a pretty good spot right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Knock off the there you go.
But we do get to a 1v1 with Mr. Warsh and King Gambit, and you know what happens here. This is a classic 1v1. Warsh is gonna Willow. King Gambit's gonna
because he should not have Sucker Punch because you click SD and.
Yep. But if you think that Mr. Warsh is only gonna hit Hydro Pump or Volt Switch, like obviously that's just a lack of experience.
Reflect is up. You can't do any damage.
No, this game is like kind of over. It's just you have to hope for a crit for Aaron, and I think it's simply like he didn't do anything super bad by hitting Sucker that early. It's just he didn't know that the Rotom Wash was Willow, and that's just a lack of experience. That's not.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that also comes from. He's been doing the same thing since 2009.
Yeah. Right.
So.
And like, you're supposed to know that, but I can't fault him for not knowing it because he hasn't experienced it himself. Now that he's experienced it, I imagine if we replayed that turn 27 onward, it could have been a lot different. Now, I don't think it would have mattered because Reflect was up, which was a good choice by Adam. But, I mean, it's just now you know kind of deal.
Yeah, I think Adam played his end game very well.
Yeah, I think Aaron and Adam did have a nice set there, and Adam did play a nice end game for sure, keeping that Rotom nice
the mid game between both of them is probably not their best work, but I think Adam played into the end well, and hey, sometimes that's all you need. Because really, if you can have like how many turns is that game? It was what 29 turns. 29. If you can have 5 really really good turns to close out a win, who cares what the other ones were like?
Exactly.
Like take those to the bank and go, okay, I played my end game really well and I got the win. Sure, I didn't make the best plays in the early game, or like maybe even the mid to late game, to where things could have gotten out of hand. You played a solid mid game, and you absolutely clutched out the end. Forget about the other shit. You'll fix it later. Exactly. Just take solace in, that was good. Keep doing things like that.
Right, like if you ever think you're throwing, just stop throwing. You can still fix it. It's not over.
If you think you're throwing, we don't play with timer. Sometimes I think we should, but we don't. You have the time to think, okay, take a moment, think about what's going to happen at the end. What does your opponent have that's going to beat you? What do you have that will prevent it? That is your focus. Keep that alive, keep that in position, and you'll be fine. If you get crit and lose, so what? Wasn't meant to be.
Pokemon. Yeah.
That's the game. Just put yourself in a position where you don't have to worry about getting haxed, and if it happens, hopefully you're still able to play out of it. If not, that's the game we play.
Very true. Very true.
Yes. And on that note, Earthworm's here.
Hey, what about Chestnut?
Chestnut's here. Chris said, I want to use Chestnut. I like this guy. He's cool. So we just kind of put dudes that Chris likes and said, go to town.
You know what happened on my end of this battle, Matt? Dante actually sent me the team in advance and said, hey, can I get your advice on this team? And it was these 6 mons right here.
Okay.
And I went, holy smokes, Dante, this team is fire. We fixed a few things that actually just couldn't work, but I have the technology on display with Dante's team was really cool. It didn't quite work in any of these games, but I really enjoyed what he was going for on each of the sides.
Also, Armor Cannon Destiny Bond Taunt, I didn't even know he learned Destiny Bond. I think that's really cool.
With weak armor, yeah.
With weak armor, yeah.
That was sent to me. And I went, oh my god, Dante, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it did kind of not work as perfect as expected, and that's just a calc thing. But I think on a concept, it's really cool. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the team is pretty standard outside of, I think that, I want to say Valiant's a little weird. I don't remember what exactly, though.
Yeah, just to kind of go back to that.
Yeah, sorry, go loud, go on.
So right here, right, we have -2 Mr. Wake, with Draco. Mm-hmm. Right, so Chris Volt switches out, and goes into Skeledirge.
Oh yes, we should talk about this.
So Skeledirge has Unaware, and for all its benefits of ignoring your opponent's stat buffs, it also ignores their stat debuffs. So you're getting hit with a full-powered Draco Meteor, and you are still a fire type and are weak to water.
And there's a good chance that you're not faster than it paralyzed.
Yes. And there's also a Clodsire on your team, which I forget if it is unaware, if there's 2 unaware guys, or if it is water absorb.
I
Either
want to say
way,
this one was unaware and the other one was water absorb on the other team.
I can't remember which one was which.
But even though there isn't a lot of switch-ins, you can't bring in your unaware user to a Draco Meteor spam. It doesn't work.
It does not work, yeah.
Right. And then also here, another little bit of remember abilities. Just mouse over them. I know it's weird. I know you're new. Like, we don't see these mons. You've never seen Earthworm before. I get it. But always check.
I don't blame you because he doesn't have Shed Tail and is not worth running without it.
Hey, now.
But,
Iron Defense Body Fresco is hard. Of course, unfortunately for Dante, this one doesn't have Iron Defense. So he's a little bit of a dead weight. He does eat the ground moves. He eats Clodsire alive, but that's all he can do. He can't really do anything else.
Yeah.
Also, look at these DPP players, Matt.
Look at the hazard stack. This is what I'm all about.
Yeah, now Chestnut eats, what, 31% Lamau?
Yeah, no, he says, yum, may I have another?
Yeah.
Look
all right,
at this
I'm
guy.
the bulk. Bonk.
Look at him go.
Yeah, at this point, Dante needs to go right into his Goldango. Like,
he needs to go into Goldango. He needs to go into Valiant. He needs to go into literally anything.
Literally anything but this Earthworm. Like, once your opponent, like, even if your opponent isn't a setup mon, if you're in a losing matchup, like, you know you're a Steel type in against a Fighting type, and you have the perfect...
You have a really good...
Go to it. Go get him. You still want that Earthworm alive later for the Claude. Also, here's Hypnosis.
Or just put it to bed.
Yeah. While Moonblast could have killed, what if we hit Hypnosis?
Yeah, that's just some Dante
That's
Jones.
Some Dante brain power. I thought it was crazy, but I loved it.
And the Psy Shock was perfect for Claude, So this Valiant just kind of had the Swiss Army knife.
Valiant has his way here. Yep, Valiant wins the whole game.
Yeah, like at this point,
Chris has lost all his fairy resists.
Yeah. Which is funny, just to kind of, as we get to the end here, we get the backs. Yep. So when Chris sent me the team, I looked at it and I said, you get absolutely destroyed by Valiant. And I said, you need to get a Terra on backs to where you can resist it. So at first I was like, you could do Terra Poison, or you could go with like a catch-all and do Terra Water. And he went with Water. But if he was Poison, backs might have been able to pull this one back.
But unfortunately, Valiant has coverage for everything, so it is hard to play around.
Yeah, and Tusk is down, so that was game 1. Dante played that really well, I had to say.
Now game 2 and game 3.
Yeah, so let's look at this.
Have you seen these games yet, Matt?
I skimmed through this one.
There is one
if
thing
I'm usually
here.
not around, I'll skim through the game 2s when they come up. So I know it's like, all right, I'll skip through the first 2. I'm like, all right, are we getting to game 3 kind of thing?
Right. Pause it real fast. Right? Okay. Dante, if you are listening, there is no answer on your team for Garganackle whatsoever. Your only play... What's up?
This guy.
Nah, he just Terra Watered.
You just Draco.
It takes like 40 from the Draco. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's crazy.
There's no answer. So I liked his idea of keeping Armorage in here, but you have to taunt it. You cannot let it. You have to let it keep hitting you. Mm-hmm. If it's with Body Press or Salt Cure, it doesn't matter. Taunt it and make it leave, or because if you get up to ×4, you can't break it at all. Mm-hmm. At least on your physical side. Not that you have too many of them, but like. I know he was trying to get like this Armor Cannon down to Salt Cure level, but if he's not taunted, he can just let the Salt Cure kill you, and then Destiny Bond doesn't work. So you have to taunt Garganackle if you're trying to Destiny Bond kill it. And at this level of play, like that's your only.
Also, if Destiny Bond worked like it used to, he'd just press it again, and that'd be it.
Yes.
Like it's like if you're Chris, like you don't need to press Salt Cure again. Just spam Iron Defense.
Yeah, just spam.
Because it doesn't matter. He's not doing anything. Let the Salt Cure beat him, so you'll get Destiny Bonded.
Right, but you had taunt the whole time, so like.
Yeah.
He needed to hit that turn 1.
Yeah.
Now, at 4 times defense, and not being immune to status, and not having Thunderbolt on your Valiant, we're just going to watch Garganackle kind of go crazy here.
Yeah, so we're going to go in fast mode, and...
And this is Garganackle. You have to prepare for him.
It is what it is. I think it just comes down to, like...
Here, watch this Draco. 56. All right, now you're minus special attack, and you're dead.
If you get in range, it's good damage.
Yeah. If he had anything else to hit it, I'd agree.
Yeah. So I don't know why
that would work,
why
but he
Chris
didn't.
switched out. I have no
I
idea.
don't know why he switched out. I'm gonna be real honest. I'm not sure. He was already Terra watered. He didn't have anything to fear except
Yeah.
maybe a
And you
Thunderbolt,
still resist Ghost with Purifying Salt.
Yeah.
So
I could see being scared of T-Bolt. Like you've
also
seen it before.
that he's got
Yeah,
Thief.
hold on. We're gonna talk about this. Pause.
I don't know. Do we?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk about this, Matt. We're gonna talk about this for like a minute. Thief Goldango. You wanna know why this is Thief Goldango? What if I ran Trick Goldango with an air balloon? I said, Dante, your balloon's gonna pop. You can't trick it. He said, oh. I go, why not just run Thief? It'll deal damage and you'll take their item.
Oh my god. That's
So
kind of
now
funny.
we have Thief Goldango. Probably the most funny thing I've seen.
That is pretty funny. But imagine if that was Nasty Plot.
Just imagine.
Just imagine.
Just
Anyway.
imagine. But that's okay. Dante wanted to do some crazy tech, and I said, you know what?
Hey,
Let's
it
try
was funny. You know what?
It was funny. Unfortunately, the team just gets rocked by Goldango and Garganackle and kind of, yeah.
You know.
And
So
I
this
sold
was
6-0.
a 6-0.
Yep. Sometimes you get got. Your gimmicks don't have answers, and that's just, you know.
Yeah.
That's why gimmicks are gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, we see Garganackle start the lead here, and yeah.
And we see
We see Earthworm get cured. Salt cure 25% to any water or steel type. So as long as you get your hazard.
there we go. We learned the taunt.
Get the taunt. Which he was gonna salt cure you anyways, but let him do it.
You know, it's fine.
Now Chris at some point should switch out, right?
Does he?
But he doesn't.
He doesn't need to. He's
Now,
fine.
Dante, on the other hand, made the wrong play here. It was the right play to stay in and try to get the Destiny Bond, but hitting the armor cannon means your defense is lower and you now take too much. So
Yes.
without a calc, it's hard to see that. But also, I'm not sure why we're hypnosis.
Also, yeah, learn from
learning
past mistakes.
Right. So it is unfortunate, but you just got to be careful. Like you can see the salt cure did like 24, right? You know it'll do about 40 if you hit your armor cannon again. Like you can math that out in your head. You don't need a calculator. You can just see. You can just make the numbers in your head.
Yeah.
With when you drop your defenses, it's the same thing for people running close combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just something you have to think of when you're playing.
Yeah, that's
but,
a crit 24.
Oh,
So
24, yeah.
at this point, I'm gonna kind of start to, you know,
Yeah,
we're
we can
gonna
have a
watch. We're gonna see.
There's nothing
some
else
of
to talk
this.
about.
Yeah.
Good job,
All right. So
Chris.
we got to
You're in
switch.
Garganackle.
So now we can see, you know, more gameplay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We can't see more gameplay. I think
so
Dante
Shadow Ball,
gets
it
a
does a
single
lot
man
of
here.
damage.
Flamethrower.
And here he's back.
All right, we're back. Let's see Draco do 56.
A lot.
Ooh,
Now, do we
59.
have a recover? No.
Nope. But we salt cured, so you know that's cool.
Is this the trade you want with everything that's left? I think it's a good trade.
It's a fine trade. Like, sure, Arian Valiant might just go crazy, but
You know,
Hey, good
the first turn wake
turn
was
wake
pretty
up.
cool.
that's pretty cool. He wouldn't miss it again,
But
right?
then, you know,
I think Dante, when he ran Jinx in Gen 4, like, got some mystical power up of never being able to miss Hypnosis.
Aaron had Jinx.
Oh, Aaron had Jinx, you're right.
Yeah. And at this point, you know, Slowbro, he's not going to be able to stand up to
You know who in the
everything.
back. Right?
So, and he is Water Absorb.
Yeah, and Water Absorb.
And Toxic is just going to...
Also, yeah, never hit. Even if you see a Clodsire and you have water psychic coverage, just hit the psychic move.
Find out what the ability is first. And, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, so here we go. We got Gen 7. Gen 7's fun to talk about.
Hmm.
So, Corey came into this one and said, I want to run set up stupid Clefable. I was like, alright, cool. So, how do you want to do it? So, at first it was like, you know, Cosmic Power, you know, Stored Power bullshit. Call Mind. I forget what I ended up going with, but we will see.
I think Corey's team here was way more base than his second team. His second team was horribly cringe.
Oh, where you brought just hyper offense? Yeah.
Yeah. McGurdy hyper offense moment. I went, oh, that's cringe. This team, though, I like the
Yeah,
idea
so
behind
this
it.
is,
It just had a massive weakness to Celesteela.
I even told him that too. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
you get absolutely whopped by Celesteela. Because Landers was here over,
Oh, was he?
yeah, he was here at one point, and I said, dude, you gotta have something for steel types, Celesteela especially, because
Yeah. Also, this is a really
here's
this
a
is a
so-called
funny
free
moment.
thinkers win Celesteela.
yeah.
So anyway, here's a hit. That's hidden power poison, by the way.
I don't think so.
Is it not? I thought.
I think that's electric. I'm pretty sure that's hidden power electric on Keldeo. Because I don't believe he would have ran poison, as weird as it seems. Like, I know there's fairy types. Yeah,
It might be grass.
Right. Yeah, electric is that.
Yeah.
I would have never recommended poison. But it is pretty funny to think about. Here's Kartana moment.
His cart, yeah.
Yep.
Is this guy?
Attack
What?
boost.
Oh, because he's Z normal. Breakneck Blitz.
He must be, yeah.
Because
I never
he's
saw
not
the
choiced,
team.
you know. Maybe
Yeah, Drew
SD.
makes all his teams on the side, so I haven't been able to see exactly what he's made yet.
Yeah, so. Oh, we almost get to see
I guess I would say to
Clefable.
Drew, never leave your Kartana in on a Victini. You have to make sure it's not scarfed first.
Unless you're scarfed and you're in zoom mode.
Yeah, unless you're the scarfed one, but then you don't kill it, so, you know.
Yeah.
None of
Also,
your
I like
moves
that there were
hit.
2 tank chomp. There's a lot of tank chomp representation this week, and I think that's cool. So here he goes.
Okay.
This big Clef.
Don't go too fast on this set. This is a good set. 3 games. Also, here's Big Clef taking 60 from a heavy slam.
Yep. But I don't think you switch out there. I think you click
Recover.
I think it was
Oh,
Store Power Ice Beam? Might have been, but still.
There's no way. There's no way that does enough damage, right?
No, but at least you know
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least
mean, you
this
don't-
set
you don't
isn't
U-turn here.
recovering.
You know,
Yeah, I
you
don't
gotta
think it's
click.
U-turn. You gotta hit the B crate. What comes on it? Garchomp, cool, I guess. But U-turn.
Garchomp
man,
switches in very well.
Oh, he's still at 60, isn't he? Yeah. Corey was definitely like very scared at this point, but he still
Yeah,
has his
I think
like.
he kind of was too afraid. He's like, oh my god, I have to be in perfect position for Celesteela and just let it get back to full HP.
Yeah, like look at that. It went from 50 to 100 and it didn't even hit Leech Seed, I think. Like that's kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
So at this point, we're just gonna watch.
Oh,
You know,
wait,
that
you're going
miss-
pretty fast here, Matt.
I just skipped through it because we kind of know how this is going at this point.
Hold on, it could be funny. I don't remember the end of this game.
There is no end to this game. It's
There
over.
is no end of this game. Understood. Boo! Clefable could have done it. Boo!
But yeah, so here is Corey's hyper offense team that he made on the side. I
This
had
team is cringe. As much as I like Ninetales Alola,
it's just hyper offense, you know.
this
It
is
is
hyper
what it
offense.
is.
Yeah. I don't know what Drew's team was. I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at it and I'm not entirely sure what the plan of it was. Extra drill, but with no sand. Greninja, but with no rain.
No, Extra Drill's a good lead for hyper offense team, but you don't see Zapdos on hyper offense. Like
Yeah,
he's more
that's
of
why I'm
like a
not too sure.
balance or like a stall kind of play style. That's his spot. See
I
Megaladios?
shiny
Yup.
Latios. I don't like Mega Shiny Latios. I love the original. And here's a missed Rock Tomb.
That miss sucked a lot.
It did. We're talking about it in the chat. It sucked. Anyways,
Yeah.
here's Magardia. Remember, Latios is a mixed attacker and gets Earthquake.
Yep. I
Yeah.
think Corey forgot that at this point.
It's very common. And I'm pretty sure Drew just hits like Psychic here. Oh no, he
He
roosts. That's
roosts.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's big brain.
Yes, that was a good play.
But here comes the moment of
Yeah.
truth.
So-
The biggest bird.
Yeah, so I think one thing about like Corey's team here is it's kind of the same concept that we talked about with Adam, where he had Screens Grimmsnarl and then Glamora.
Yep.
You go with one or the other. Usually don't go with both. Because then you kind of hamstring your team. For example, so it's like if you want to go all in on screens, that Lando could be like Double Dance Lando. It could be something else. Or if you want to go with just the hazards, the Ninetales can be, you know, literally anything else, like something like a Lele or any other really scary offensive threat, or Coco. I think Coco would have probably worked really well here.
That being said, I think this one thing that Ninetales at least does that Grimmsnarl doesn't is it can put things to bed, and we're about to see that.
That's true. Because Hypnosis,
It doesn't need to run 2 moves to run both screens and can hit Hypnosis, so incredibly powerful.
it's a very
on its own.
good, you know, it's the HO guy, you know, he's him.
He's him.
And then here is good old Charizard.
Charizard, if this extra drill is scarfed, you're gaming. But it's not, so you're dead.
It is not, because we have, you can kind of assume You know, it's probably Focus Sash.
Yeah. And the rocks are up, so that's unfortunate.
And then the DD on the Zap Defog was really cool because, you know, now Veil's gone. But now Charizard is
Charizard just
gaming.
gets to hit Flare Blitz a bunch. Gets
Alas.
Paralyzed. Static moment.
Yeah. Zappington
So the game's
is
not
very
over
good.
yet.
You know, but then Ninetales comes in, now the Defogger's gone.
Yep.
Nothing stopping the Veil coming back up.
Exactly. It's brutal.
So
I do get wanting to run hazards and screens at the same time for your hyper offense if you can. I do get that the hazards are important toward getting damage numbers. I'm not sure in Gen 7 with how power creep heavy the game is. That
you usually don't have the ability. Like, you could run rocks on something.
Right.
That's why I usually see it on like a Z-Lando.
Yeah.
And then at this point, you know, now it's time for...
we're going to watch Volcarona behind screens to go crazy. Here's a bug move.
Yep. That's bug move. Savage spin out. That's Greninja. That was Greninja.
That was. Yep.
He's asleep.
Yep.
If that was me, I would have actually quivered again.
Maybe.
You never, you know, what if you get crit, you know, by Victini? You know, like crit V-create kind of thing.
You're fine with who's in the back.
Yeah, because V-create lowers speed, correct?
Yep, that's why.
Yeah.
You can't hit V-create. I said it's true. There's like one scenario he wins that, and that's if he brings like a physical fire move that crits behind the Aurora Veil that isn't V-create. Something like whatever the physical version of like Blue Flare is, and I'm like, that's your only win con. You're not going to have that. Nobody's going to have that. Yeah. It's okay. You got swept by screens, hypnosis, and Volcarona. You
got by hyper offense.
So then I'm not quite sure why we led Garchomp here, and we brought this team to. I think this was the same team as the first team.
It was.
But once you see that Corey's team is here again, that Ninetales is a problem.
Ninetales is a problem. Also, if I'm Corey, regardless, like I see, he leads Garchomp.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's coming in is going to do well against the Moonblast and Blizzard. Get your Veil up.
Get your Veil up.
Get your Veil up. You could try to put it to bed if you want, but get your Veil up. Because now, you know, you're in against Celesteela. You didn't get your Veil up. Mission has failed.
So that is unfortunate. Like, that's the whole point of putting your Ninetales as your lead is to get the Veil. And nothing on this team should have Brick Break. Maybe the Keldeo, I don't know.
He's Defog. Well, probably it's Defog on...
Oh, yeah, Defog, sorry. I keep forgetting Defog.
Nah, not on this team. I don't think he could fit it.
And then pause here. So rocks are up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at Corey's team going, oh, wow, that team hates rocks. But I said, oh, that's okay. He's got Defog Landorus. Spoiler alert. There is no Defog on that Landorus.
Yeah.
Corey always checks.
Yeah, that was a big oopsie daisy. Because then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
And that first third wake sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Opie quivered, yeah. So here's the... Now we're quivering. Fire Blast does a bajillion. But now you lost both.
I'm a little surprised he stayed in, honestly. Like, I know you can't switch because you don't have a spinner, but at the time...
no, you had to stay and go for the crit.
Yeah. I was surprised not hitting the Z bug move, though, to hit the Fire Blast. At least you can't miss.
I agree with that, too.
And then here we go. The game is over.
It's Magearna time.
It's shift game. The game is over. There are 5 mons, but there are none left. So Drew had to leech seed here. This is like there's a leech seed
on 100%. You just gotta stall it out a little bit. Get your HP, and then you could switch between Chomp and Steela with the recovery.
Without the leech seed, it's just regaining HP, and you have no way of stopping it. So that is like, take a moment and think, whoa, like you know. This thing's about to go crazy. You can see the set. And now look, if it didn't have that HP, it just lost to Lele. But instead...
Yeah, even if you had clicked it one time, then you could go into Lele Revenge Kill.
Yeah. But that's... And then Corey switches here. I'm not entirely sure why.
He thought it was Scarfed.
Even so...
Knowing the team, he still thought it was Scarfed. There's the Breakneck Blitz. Oh, it's Bloom Doom.
Bloom Doom. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Big boost!
Big boost! So now we have Kartana versus Kartana moment. Very funny, very cool.
And now we click Sacred Sword. And we click Sacred Sword again. And then guess what?
Drew here does not realize that Corey's is Scarfed, and I think you have a very safe switch in with Celesteela.
What percent is Celesteela at this? 44? That is not a safe switch in.
The Sacred Sword? Yeah.
Sacred
And then
Sword? No,
the crazy
it's...
thing. He does the absolutely insane thing here and sacks his Soul Heart to Alakazam.
Yep.
But luckily for him, he Scarf Cortana, so it does not
Luckily,
matter.
he is bailed out by having a good Pokemon on his team.
Right, but oh my gosh, we thought that game might have been over.
Yeah.
Luckily for Corey, it was not able to take that move whatsoever. Thank you, Alakazam, for being no physical defense at
You know
all.
what? Corey's still
now
not getting
Corey-
up his veil. Not that it matters. Charizard is going to come in and...
Yep. I mean, the only reason I guess he really wants to get his veil up, or at least put this thing to bed, is he's afraid of getting Leech Seed stalled on his Charizard, and missing a Fire Blast is my only guess, but then he sacks his Kartana, and that was funny.
You know, there's Charizard.
Here, oh wait, he's Flare Blitz. I don't know why he didn't do this 10 turns ago.
I don't know why I didn't do it. He just kind of thrown away the entire game.
But that's okay, because it didn't matter, and he got the end game, so good job, Corey.
He did, yeah. This is an example of, like, it's like the anti-Adam thesis, where Corey played a really nice mid-game, and then was just kind of throwing it all away in the end game.
It happens to the best of us, for sure.
Yeah, so we've all been there. We've all made bad plays at the end of games that lead to unfortunate outcomes. And on that, let us segue to our final set we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, DPP moment.
DPP.
And a good, two good players in DPP, too.
All right, I think we can describe how this set goes by the first turn. First off, we see Skarmory versus Apollyon. So this team I have, I really like Skarmory. He's very good.
In the right hand, he's very good.
Yeah. So my job is to get up all my hazards and not let him get his rocks up.
Yep.
So naturally, I taunt. Makes sense? And JT misses Hydro Pump. So I'm like, all right, fuck.
Great. Fantastic.
It's time to go. So, the Hydro Pump doing 75, this Skarmory is spec to live Empo, Hydro Pump plus Aqua Jet.
That's pretty cool.
So, that's why I was like, you know, whatever, it is what it is. I get my Spike. And then he goes for Hydro again. So I guess, you know, he was like, whatever.
Yeah, really unfortunate mismove on the first four. Like, you're not hitting that cannon, you're hitting Hydro Pump.
So it also shows me that he doesn't have Ice Beam. He has Grass Knot.
Oh, you think?
Uh-huh. Because he would have clicked it there. Why waste the 25, the accuracy when you can get a kill? Ice Beam will do 25%. So that's why I go, alright, here he is. You know, Flygon is here. You know, you think Flygon, you know, Choice Scarf and all that, right? So, you know, go for the EQ. That's fine, yeah. You know, I'm still trying to learn more about his team, bring in Rotom, you know. Rotom does, you know, pretty decently.
Heat on this team,
I decided Rotom Heat because, I just have Overheat.
That's always fun. That's always the right reason.
I have Overheat. And then this pair was huge. My Scarf Rotoms have just been...
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm playing a song for him. I'm the world's biggest violin right now.
So I go for Draco. I'm trying to think Call Zapdos coming in because I'm trying to play off that I'm Scarfed. And then I missed the Draco thinking he's going to do it this time. And I miss it. You know, it's just, you know, it sucks. But this was the important part is I get burned.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, alright, fuck it. You know, my cover's blown. I gotta just do it.
Right. Too hard. And then here's the ultimate Flygon counter.
Yeah, so, well, I wouldn't even call it that. You know, it's Bronzong's here. Then I missed the fucking Fire Blast. That was huge.
That was pretty big.
That was, you know, massive. And then I eat the Gyro Ball, I die. You know, that would have done, like, 80% to Bronzong.
Absolutely. Let's see, hit T-Ball again?
No, I trick him. Because at this point, I'm like, wow, Bronzong is a problem because my best answer is to, you know, get it chipped and then click Fire Blast and everything. So, you know, Rotom's in here. He's going to annoy the shit out of Heatran, and he's going to get full parried every turn. Yeah, it's great. So I'm going to get T-Tar in, and I'm going to get dancing.
Oh my god!
So I think
watch this set.
So I get greedy, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna go for it.
Greedy.
I was super greedy because I knew he was Spadef feature, and I went for 2. If I went for 1, I think I would have probably been. The game would have ended immediately.
Yeah.
I would say immediately, but it would be pretty good into it. So now here's Scizor, you know, and
I don't get this. Did he forget that you no longer have the scarf?
I don't even think that because one, he's just saw me recover with lefties. All he saw was I have to pursuit trap you, and I said, okay,
No,
bye.
I think he just forgot that he thought you still had the scarf before the trick. No, he didn't realize you took his leftovers. You always got to be on. Keep your head up. Just because you've seen it earlier doesn't mean like just check the chat log. Mouse over the Pokemon.
So I got parried by T-Bolt too.
Type if you're not sure. Also, that was a crazy para.
Yeah, I mean I'm Lum, so it really doesn't matter. So I get my DD.
Yeah. But say there was like a Breloom in the back or something, like that's huge if you lost your Lum that early.
And Trick Room Bronzong at this point in the game is really scary.
Really, really funny, yeah. Really strong. But you still have Rotom Heat the whole time.
Yeah,
and unless
he did so much damage. And it's like, I don't know, all right.
Who's in the back?
Because Empoleon is still here. And,
Naturally a Slowmon, yeah.
The Gyarados takes way too much damage. And, the grass, there's the grass knot, like I was talking about.
Yeah. But Gyarados sitting in a really pretty spot now.
And he goes for the Jet,
That's 4%.
And I go for Waterfall because this Gyara does not have Earthquake. He has Outrage and Stone Edge.
You're funny. Oh, you're funny.
Because I think Ice Fang is bad.
Yeah.
And Ice Fang Earthquake is good coverage. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do Stone Edge for Zap. And
that's a pretty cool idea.
But
I like it.
You know what? Despite all this, like I had some bad luck, but like, JT getting full para and everything. It was big, but like I think me missing all my moves with Flygon, and then I think
the hacks is definitely in both favor here, but then obviously I'm gonna say JT got absolutely hacked.
He got hacked a lot. The Hydro Pump misses sucked a lot because I was able to get up my rocks and spikes.
I'll be biased. JT got more hacks than you.
Yeah, because that one because he was
the whole game one.
Because that
it's the
sucked.
one that matters most.
Yeah, that one mattered the most.
But I guess the only thing I will say is that even with all of JT's hacks, like just because one he got hacked, and I mean we're gonna talk about your hacks too, but even though he got hacked and kept it, like he still kept it close. You got to keep yourself in the game because you got like confident with the T-Tar because of how much he was getting hacked.
Yeah,
and like
I got lulled into the false sense of security, which is a very common trend in this set where sometimes it's like I don't want my opponent to get hacked all the time because it also throws off my game plan. It's like I should never DD twice with Tyranitar there ever.
Right, it's an overconfidence. Like,
yeah, and I was like, oh, he's gonna get full parried again. He can't hurt me. Completely forgetting the fact he's got Roar. It's like what he does. And then all of a sudden the Bronzong's not as scary because I get a Fire Punch off, and then I can go Rotom and I'll finish it off, and then I have, more guys alive.
Exactly. And while the game would have definitely gone a lot easier if Flygon didn't miss his Fire Blast or didn't get burned to Lava Flu and all that too, at the same time, like it is, you did keep it together and you hid that Lucario really well, and that's something that I think is really, really important to do when you're using a guy like him in DPP.
Yeah, he just kind of fits in on these kinds of teams really well in the late game. But that Starmie in the back, like I gotta give JT credit because Trick Room Bronzong is probably the biggest thorn in this team's side. Just period.
Yeah, he looks really strong off the once Skarmory goes down.
And it's like and plus cool. Like I didn't know he had Scizor when I was starting to DD with Tyranitar, and him having Banded Scizor keeps that in check completely. Which then would let Gyarados have taken advantage, but since I had gotten greedy because of all the hacks, I wasn't able to kind of see how that game would go. So it kind of forced a game plan that I wasn't ready for because it kind of expedited what I was going to do without like seeing what was available.
Exactly.
It's like I would never have DD'd knowing there was a Scizor and a Bronzong on this team. Right? Like I'm doing it, it's like, all right, he's getting hacks out of his mind. Let me just get to plus a billion into how much damage I can. Yeah.
But I do want to say that's a good example of keeping your team like hidden away in DPP, especially for like sweepers like Lucario, and for I want to call Trick Room Bronzong a sweeper even though he's a tank, but I think it
is a late game cleaner.
Is a late game cleaner, yeah. And that's just important for anybody playing DPP. I really want to shout out Adam just to keep that in mind when he uses Lucario in DPP. Even though we all
when we
are
played,
knowing he's gonna do
when
that.
Adam and I played, I think week 2, he hit
Yeah.
that super. He had it really well too. I had a feeling he was gonna have like some kind of late game, like, you know, really threatening guy. But it's like every time you see Lucario in the late game, you're like, fuck.
Mhm.
It's, you know, it's never like a good sign, you know. But if you see him early, you're like,
oh, my
okay.
Lucario counter's right here.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to game 2.
Yep.
So
Different teams.
different teams. We see Infernape and we see Starmie, and I'm on record of saying Infernape is bad. I stand by that.
When I was building JT's team, I said Matt thinks Infernape's bad, but he's never going to bring lead Starmie to it because that's the only thing this beats. And then I was laughing so hard when it was Starmie.
Yeah. So I'm also a another firm believer of I think Starmie is a terrible spinner.
Yes.
And
Because he's so
which is
good
true.
on offense, he gets to keep his moves.
Yeah. So I really like this Starmie. I'll talk about it a little bit more later. But then I crit the Breloom, and again, huge.
Insanely huge.
It was
Losing Breloom to a Starmie that's not even specs.
yeah.
Makes me
But
wanna
it
curl.
also kind of like throws out like, oh hey, you know, that's close to like you would expect from like a timid specs, almost. Like, oh, that's a low roll kind of thing. So it still has it blank that I'm scarfed.
Even so, it's mentally brutal. You lost your lead, you lost your grass type, and now here comes DD Gyarados? I guess okay.
Yeah, so I think JT kind of brought this in, like, you know how I brought in Tyranitar to start DDing very early? Yeah. This is another case of JT being like, I have to make some progress. So, like, having Gyarados come out and start doing it, and then, you know, another mon I don't use much and I don't think is particularly great, but works on this team, Celebi.
Mm-hmm.
He's here to deal with this.
He's dealing all right.
Yeah. And this was not a roll, by the way. So
there never was a chance.
There is never a chance. Yeah.
Freeze.
So, you know, Celebi's chilling. Here's Bunky. So this is an opportunity where I was kind of like, you know, I was feeling myself. You know, it's like, oh, I'm making moves with Starmie. You know, I got the nice crit when I needed it. And I said, you know what, Gliscor, you can die.
I'm actually shocked you kept the Celebi alive.
I am shocked that
because
because I didn't have rocks up. Celebi's my rocker on this team. That was why I kept it. But it was a terrible decision. Even after I did it, I was like, why the fuck did I do? Why did I do that?
Why are you stacking our amazing Gliscor to a mon that...
Because Gliscor goes absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like, looking, like, once you see the rest of his team. Plus, like, look at Starmie go. 2-hit Scarf Rotom, because JT didn't know I was Scarf at this point.
Yep. Even in the hacks, also, I'm shitposting in the chat here, I apologize.
No, you're good. I muted Discord this time. Also, now I get my rocks up, so Celebi being around is still nice.
That's true. That's true.
And I also think I should have tried to get Tyranitar in sooner to get this, because this Infernape being at 1 HP was a big pain in the ass.
It was. I mean, until it didn't.
I mean, that Fire Blast miss sucked. But then, honestly, like, if I died, I would have went.
Yeah, the game was over. You had completely and thoroughly dominated with Scarf Starmie to this point.
Yeah. And then, here we go. I want to talk about Magnezone real quick.
Here's a number like 60 to bring Blissey is Scarf Starmie.
I have Trick on the Starmie, so I kind of want people to bring Blissey.
Oh, man, you had everything prepped.
So,
okay,
I'll talk about Starmie real quick, because he's kind of, you know, the real hero here. It's Surf, T-Bolt, Rapid Spin, and Trick.
Scarf Rapid Spin.
Yeah.
So you still had it.
Yeah, I still had it. So his job was not to spin. If the game script required me to spin, I trick the Scarf away and I spin.
Got it.
Because that kind of helps, you know, my dudes in the back do really well.
Yeah, and Trick's a good catch for, like, because you can't beat water types or whatever, and, like, Calm Mind, Suicune, or DD Gyarados, whatever, they all lose to just getting tricked.
Yeah.
So that's, like, a really cool idea behind it, too.
I don't know why I went Magnezone here. I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to goop Metagross, you know, it's going to be great. Because I thought it was agility.
Yeah, looking at it,
the way that he was playing his team, I thought that was agility Metagross, and I thought this was Banded Tyranitar.
I see.
Just looking at it like this. So, this Magnezone is kind of made to get rid of Trick Room Bronzong, because Bronzong in general just eats SD Gliscor alive. Which again, look at how good he would be right now.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
So I go for the
Unfortunate.
Magnet Rise, right? And at this point, you know, I'm like, all right, I kind of feel bad for
Yeah.
JT. You know, it's like it'd be funny if
Pretty fast though. Like,
yeah.
oh,
I
sorry,
was
go on,
just
finish up.
I also kind of tunnel visioned a little bit too.
Like you're obviously thinking, oh, he's gonna hit me with Earthquake.
Yeah.
Even so,
Even then,
If
like
he's Bandit.
I thought, so Bandit Tyranitar is pretty slow. It doesn't run a lot of speed. So I was like, oh, I'm
Right.
gonna be faster. He's gonna lock himself into to Earthquake, and he's gonna be
I'm
like,
with
damn, that's not great. And if I die to Superpower, whatever it is, what it is, I go
And he's
into
going to the
my
back
offensive
set.
threat in the bat,
Exactly.
and then I win the game. So him showing
I don't hate that
DD,
Magnet Rise.
I'm like, okay. There's typically like you see Gyarados and Tyranitar on the same team. They kind of have opposing coverages. So him having Ice Fang and presumably Earthquake made me think, all right, Tyranitar is going to be more focused on hitting like the flying types, like Zapdos and stuff. So he was going to have like Ice Punch, Stone Edge, Crunch. So I was like, oh, Magnezone is fine here too. So he DDs again, and I'm like, you know, it's fine. And I'm thinking, you know, I have Flash Can, mind you. So I'm like,
Yeah,
you know
no,
what?
it's fine.
I've been hacking, you know, JT out of his mind. I'm gonna spam T-Ball. If I kill him with a crit, it'd be funny. If I get the crit para, I eat his Lumberry. Since making this team, I've switched to Thunder Wave. Was like thinking about it. I spam T-Wave twice, and then whatever he wants to do is literally not an issue. But and then on this turn, I was like, all right, hang on, I might just lose. And my only way of revenge killing it was Starmie. And I was like, if he DDs again, you know, I'm done. But if he goes for the kill, not realizing, you know, that, you know, I'd be faster at +2, then I'll be fine. So I was like, you know what? I'll go for T-Bolt again. I'll get the crit. It'll be funny. You know, I owe it to my pal JT to have a good game. And then he does it, and then I don't crit, and I lose. And then he shows Fire Punch. I'm like, oh, he's got Earthquake. And I was like, shit. And
You don't see Fire Punch T-Tar that often, I feel like.
no, it's usually like, and then I was like, all right, fuck this, I'm done.
Yeah, never, ever, ever.
Don't ever do what I did.
Yeah, don't feel like feel bad for your opponents, but don't throw. I think the Magnet Rise on like an objective turn was fine.
Yeah.
You still want to make sure you're securing that game.
Yeah. So
But,
my thought process for
Flash
doing
Cannon
it,
in the
I still
back
think was
is gonna
sound. I just think once I
Yeah.
saw DD, I had to get out of there.
Yeah.
Like-
or just two-shot it, you know? Get that. Like if you know you can two-shot with Flash Cannon, just two-shot with Flash Cannon.
So
DDT Tar is the biggest menace to DPP.
he is the best Dragon Dance sweeper in tier.
So just
So,
it is what
so yeah, so we went to game 3, and I was like, you know what, you know, this will be
I
fun.
will say though, for JT, props to not giving up.
Yes.
Like you could have forfeited that game thinking it was so over,
Mhm.
but you still went like down 2-5. Metagross is effectively dead weight. Like at least you stayed in there and played it out, and it happened. Matt threw for content almost.
I
He's trying to
did.
get those views.
Yeah, don't for content, you know, just for the PR podcast. So then here's freaking Raikou, and I'm like, fuck, you know.
Corey moment.
Yeah, so I really didn't expect to see him. So naturally I get out of there, and you know.
And you go to your number one Raikou counter.
Like, you know what? Fuck your stupid ass legendary electric types. I'm going into Camel, and I'm gonna get my rocks up.
I'm gonna make some people run HP Water on their electric types.
Good, then they're
versus you.
actively making bad teams. I love it.
No, I'm doing it just for you, just against you. Not in general.
So
I don't want to see Base Camel come in and do what he does. He's too based.
yeah. So this team,
Yes.
this team I got from a friend of David's.
Oh, it's that friend, huh?
Yeah. So
scary,
you know,
scary.
Stallbreaker Gliscor is a literal non-threat to this team.
Yep.
So I'm just
looking
like,
at the 4 mons, it does nothing.
so that's why I was like, you know what?
Evil
I'll U-turn
Turtle?
out. I don't need to Ice Beam. He's whatever. You know, I get Lottie in. I can do some damage.
Exactly.
And then there's this guy. You know, some Spadef Empo.
Got the
Not like-
Napoleon moment.
I'm like, what the fuck in the JT hell is this?
Oh, this is a JT kind of guy
Yeah.
for sure.
You know,
look at
and
how
then
good he stacks up right now against all 4 of your mons.
yeah. So right now I'm seeing Spadef Empo, and I'm like, fuck, this guy's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I do love this set. It's a great set. He's got
phenomenal.
Scarf Rotom, and I'm like, I'm just tricking around,
We're tricking. And then he goes into Raikou.
And I'm like, I feel like a genius, I trick again, And then I see what he's doing, I U-turn out, and then I go into Jirachi.
Like, you're locked into Rotom Wash's, like, trick. Like, the Mesprit's going to trick.
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping you from hitting a pump? You can safely switch in your walls to anything you've got still.
Yeah.
And then here's Rachi doing exactly what it does best.
Yep. And then, I get the little body slam action going.
Hey, what are your thoughts on Jirachi's paraflinch set, even on non-paraflinch teams?
Oh, it's just body slam Iron Head?
Yeah.
It's a good set.
You think it's his best set?
I think Super Rachi is the most dangerous, but I think in terms of what you can just slap on a team, like, Jirachi could win you games very easily, and it kind of limits a lot of, like, counterplay around that specific set because it relies a lot on numbers, but it doesn't run as much speed, and you can play around it well. You can force it out pretty easily. Like, things like, Lefty's Heatran just kind of will sit there forever. Stall out PP, like Swampert is pretty good into it. It's like there's ways to beat it.
You just have to figure out which set it is, which is always a nightmare.
I mean, and then there's Bulky Rotom. Bulky Rotom just kind of exists and will destroy it. Sure. And this is an example of JT's now seeing like my entire team very early, so he can now play around it differently. And I'm now in a position where I got to start to make some things happen. That full para was, whatever. He's clicking Earthquake. I brought in a flying type. It literally doesn't matter.
I'm hoping he was hitting Earthquake there. But now that Gliscor's paralyzed, he's effectively dead weight, so he sacks him. Like, it's just that easy.
Yeah, this is totally fair.
And now his Raikou is walked into
whatever move he wants to do. Hidden Power does a bit, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's get rid of Raikou. He's a big problem right now, and he fucking crits me. And this is
oh my gosh.
This was the hacks turning around for JT.
Yeah. Well, even so, like, he was in a bad position once that Raikou died, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like, losing 2 mons that quickly, and you still would have had all 6, like, that would have been brutal.
So, me going into Lucario, this was a bad decision.
Yeah, I don't get this.
This is a little bit of a, everything coming together is like, why the, just not my best decision making. Like, Jirachi's free here.
Yeah.
I get a sub.
No, you are sub Rachi,
yeah. And then, because here's this dickhead, and I go for Crunch thinking Rotom's coming in.
Braylon. This is Fizdef Braylon. Blew my mind.
Yeah.
Look at this. Nothing.
Yeah. And then I lost my Lucario, and
yeah,
that was kind of it.
Like, I don't hate the Lucario coming in if you were Nasty Plot or Sword Stance, because it's absolutely free against HP Ice Raikou. Especially if you can hit something that would hit Rotom Wash, right?
Yeah, and at this point, I'm getting loomed.
Yeah,
because I didn't position myself well around it, and then he's back again. And I'm like, fuck.
It's him. You know what he's about to do.
And I'm like, I don't have my...
You don't have your Tyranitar answer because he's went to bed.
I'm literally like, all right, is this one Earthquake? Fingers crossed. And it is.
Ooh, Matt, you cut out a little bit there. Be careful on the
ball. Oh, I did.
Yeah, that might cause some issues.
I mean, at this point, it's I just died to his coverage.
Yeah, DDT tar in the back. What was this?
A throw.
I think he misclicked that turn.
No, he was like, I don't know why I did that. Because if I had crit, this game's not over.
Oh yeah, no, it was still on if you crit that E-speed. Like, that was a wild.
And then I had to wake up. But...
Yeah, I had to wake up.
Yeah, so I got swept by DD Tar twice. The first time by
the best of us.
My own choice. This one was getting crit on Camel sucked a lot.
Yeah.
Misplaying with Lucario, who would have went really crazy, and just being ill positioned for Loom.
EVP is such an odd meta. There's just so much that can happen in, like...
It's just a good tier.
It's a really good tier. I would recommend anybody to play it if they haven't yet. Obviously, we have a lot more experience in it than any other meta, but...
Yeah.
You can still, as you can see, you can still get caught off guard.
It's all about, like, positioning, You could know everything your opponent's going to bring, but if you're in a bad spot when they come in,
yep.
Like, especially with Breloom, I feel like he's the worst defender of it. It's just like, so much immediate pressure. She's like, I don't want to go to bed.
It's time to sleep.
Like, and thinking about, like, just to kind of go back to when he's put me to bed. Let's see, next turn.
Like
here.
No, a little bit after.
Here, so after I get crit, right here, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I got Lucario in, you know. This was a bad play, as this, you know, established. You know,
and
go for Crunch.
You're expecting the Rotom Wash. You don't know the Raylum's there yet.
Yeah, so I don't know about him, and I think that's fine. So, looking here, I don't know what set he is. I did the calc. If he's offensive, I kill him with CC. And, you know, in hindsight thinking, JT would not have brought him in if he didn't think that he could live hits.
Exactly. Or unless he's like, he knows he's Scarf Breloom and can beat you.
Yeah.
That's
so,
another answer.
What I need to do, I now have a Lumberry Mesprit, and I think I forgot that at the time. If I had gone into that to eat the Spore to Ice Beam,
yeah, true.
all of a sudden, I still have my Lucario at pretty good health. He knows about it, sure, but his best checks to it are gone.
And if he's a sub Breloom or whatever and thinks he can get away with that, you just hit U-turn and break it and leave.
I can't break sub with Messi's U-turn.
Oh, that's so brutal.
But I guess I was also afraid of him clicking sub.
Breloom's just a monster. I think it's one of like
he's stupid. He's stupid Pokemon. Spore is broken.
I would say he's definitely one of the big five you have to have an answer for, if not two. Like T-Tar, him, Jirachi, Latias, and I don't know, Heatran maybe. Don't really know.
You gotta have some for Heatran.
Or Dragonite, like one of those five. Those are the big
I feel like
boys.
D-Knight and Lottie share very similar checks and counters.
True. Well, so. I'm gonna say no because you can run Superpower Dragonite. Goodbye, Steel types. That Latias otherwise struggles with.
That's true. But I mean, steals are still to switch in.
Exactly.
But
always keep your Breloom counters on lock. He can always be hiding in the back, and he's always a beast.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love to see DPP without Spore. I think if there's going to be like any kind of change, I want to see it without Spore, because I still think Loom would be pretty solid as an offensive threat, just not as game-breakingly stupid as it is.
I just wish better mons got Insomnia. I wish we weren't forced to run Honchkrow to beat Breloom.
I wish Goggles existed.
Yeah, there we go. Just get the Goggles on a mon. That would fix it.
Oh my god, that'd be so good. Like,
don't have to force yourself to run
Lumberry everywhere. Goggles Rotom would be so good.
What about Goggles T-Tar?
Because then you're immune to sand damage too. Hold on, no, give me Goggles Zapdos, 100%.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
Stall out the Stone Edge, win the game.
There you go.
Maybe in a different
yeah,
meta.
so, no Little Cup this week.
Yes, we forgot to mention that.
But yeah, we're not going to talk about the side events during this. We could talk about it, but I don't have the replays up for it.
That's fine. The side event of the week was Stabmons. So you were able to pick any Pokemon, and they would get every move of their type, which was really actually, I think it was pretty fun. And we definitely got to see a lot of funny things like Salt Cure Tyranitar and Boomburst Sylveon. But most importantly, the fun thing for me was I got to run a team of all Evolutions. And I was thinking about doing it for Tim, even though he's not even on my team. I said, wow. Because you also get all the moves of your pre-evolutions, as well as just your, as who you are. So for example, Jolteon would get all of Eevee's types, so you would also get normal moves. Corviknight would get normal type as well because of Corvisquire or whatever, you know? So the format actually ended up being pretty fun.
I think they're pure flying, actually.
Oh, wrong one then. There was I think it was Talonflame got normal types.
Talonflame, yeah.
Talonflame got normal moves. So you got to have like every mon kind of kept their originality, like they got to be who they were originally, but with just minor changes. Like it wasn't too crazy that I felt lost, and it wasn't like every mon was overpowered and whatnot, because they did have a lot of bans, sadly. It would have been really funny if everyone could run like Victory Dance, for example, or Quiver Dance.
Yeah, I don't like that they had the restrictions put in. It's like you can't run all these other moves.
Yeah, the format was not broken because of it, and while it would have been a lot funnier if
it was broken. Let me run Last Respects Dragapult, you bastards.
Right. So we didn't get to anything crazy.
Let me cheat and win the game.
All the funny OM
I run 5 Memento guys.
Yeah.
And then just spam Last Respects.
I was thinking about it too. Trust me.
I think that would have been fun.
It would have been.
You know,
I still think it was a fun format. I don't know if I'd recommend it to everyone to try, but if there was like,
there's a ladder for it.
yeah,
Fuck
I would
around.
play it again. I think it's certainly not the worst. That being said, we're gonna kind of see that now in the upcoming home release with Ceaseless Edge now being added in. So get ready for
Yeah,
that.
the new guys are cool.
Yeah.
As of recording, Regieleki is banned.
Woo!
Magirna is still allowed, but
That's
that will
insane.
probably
That's
be
insane.
gone by the end of the week.
Yep.
Along with like Chen Pao and the Zamazenta forms.
Really
Probably
funny
not too
they
far
dropped
behind, if
Empower
not
from
before.
Ubers for like 3 days.
Yeah, there was no reason to do that.
I don't know what they were thinking. But yeah, no, we're in an interesting new meta now as the season moves on. We are officially at like the halfway point, and home
We are, yeah.
So
Yep.
every single
And-
format, with the exception of the old gen, so 4 of our 7 is going to get completely flipped on its head.
hmm
And
Some more than others, but you know, we'll see. You know, this is probably going to be a week or two of like gentlemen banning the egregiously broken things, for sure. But
meta
you know what?
stabilizes, and as Showdown decides what is and isn't legal.
Yeah, Infinchinator we trust.
Yeah, I hope so.
Big stall will
No,
Wolverine
agency,
Supreme. You know what?
But yeah, I'm excited, and next week should be really good.
Yeah,
we have
because we
our-
are 2-2. You know, we
Yeah.
got a even week. You know, we're gonna come out. We're gonna see who takes the lead, and yeah, that's all I got to say.
Definitely big shout outs to everybody as well, like not just like the players, but to like of the teams, but just the fact that we're all are like, I'm noticing it on my team specifically, like everyone's coming together and working as a unit, and I really like that. I like everyone wanting to learn and wanting to improve. Even those who don't spend too much time on Showdown are coming up with team ideas and thinking of stuff for other people, and it's really cool to see that. So big shout outs to my guys, and also big shout out to all of the Backstreet Boys too. I see.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little insight when I talk to Chris and Ethan over there about what goes on, and I can tell they're having a good time, and that's just what I like to see.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're all having a good time. I know the past few weeks, like I myself have been super busy, so I haven't been, been like, oh, let's let's cook up some ideas. I know everyone is, busy with life. David on vacation.
True.
So
Hopefully
we're coming back together to cook up some dubs.
And next week, we got a cool side event. Please try to get some PR, Matt. We got Stadium rental, Pokemon Stadium 1 rental matchups. So Ethan and Jordan, good luck in that.
Yeah.
If you want
remember,
to, play it on Nintendo Switch
Psychic
Online.
is broken. Normal is broken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pick good.
Or just pick
It'll
your
be a great
friends
time.
because it's a side
Yeah,
event.
pick your friends, but only if your friends are good.
Yeah, no picking Kakuna, please. He is not your friend.
Yeah, no Kakuna gaming. I want Rattata gaming. If I see a Rattata Ditto, I'll I don't know. I don't know what I'll
Did
do.
they even give Rattata
I'll
a
think
move
about
set?
it. Dude, he's probably got like Hyper Beam and shit.
That's what I'm thinking, like something crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
He's got all the power. The power in his fangs,
Oh yeah. He has Blizzard.
Oh, yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's good. Wow, that's a crazy moveset. Anyways, but that's for next week. That's a surprise for next week.
That's for next week, and I think we'll highlight the best game of that set.
That sounds good.
That way we don't you don't spend too much time on it, because we know that this one's already going long, and we were down. We didn't even talk about 2 of the sets that happened. So
True. I'm just happy to be here, talking with you.
Yeah, we're having a great time. Make sure you subscribe. We're trying to
Hit that like button.
get the check mark. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we get the affiliate button. That's not hard to get.
That's true. We'll get sponsored. Hey, sponsor this video. I'm just kidding. Always remember, continue to not make teams that lose the Rotom Wash.
Yep, important. It's the one
Yes.
thing we're learning this year.
Yeah, Rotom is very good. He's my best friend. And play OU right now. It's fun. Bully people with broken Pokemon and don't feel bad about it. Make them feel bad that they're not using them.
You've got maybe like 1 to 2 more days to get these Rotom
Just use the bear.
Yeah, use the bear. Oh yeah, bear don't care.